Thank you. The member for Upper Hunter.
My question is directed to the Minister for Trade, Tourism, Major Events and Minister of Sport. How is New South Wales outperforming the rest of the nation as a tourist destination?
Trade, tourism, special events and sport.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the member for Upper Hunter for his question. And Madam Speaker, you heard from the Premier earlier about New South Wales being #1. And when it comes to tourism, there's no difference there either. Just last week, New South Wales was again named the #1 destination in Australia with a record 3.3 million international visitors in the year ending June 2015. Visitors stayed a record total amount of almost 80 million nights in New South Wales. That's the highest ever recorded in this state. And that is as far and away larger than anything available in Queensland or Victoria, where they rank a measly 55 million and 50 million nights. The trend doesn't end there, Madam Speaker. I'm also proud to say that during this period, New South Wales also received $7.7 billion in visitor expenditure. That's a significant increase of over 10% on the previous year, once again showing why New South Wales is the #1 destination in Australia for tourism. And Sydney continues to shine a light on the international stage.
Any conversations in the chamber? Too many conversations in the chamber.
Sydney broke all records with a whopping 26,000 people flying into Sydney from interstate and overseas, from international locations on dedicated Vivid travel packages. We've also had other international events, including Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea playing out at ANZ Stadium. We've had the Australian Badminton Open, a huge open across the Asia Pacific that attracted a very large number of people. We've also had the Sydney Film Festival, and we've had Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, which continues to go from strength to strength. But, Madam Speaker, Sydney is only part of the state's appeal. Visitors to the regions also grew by 9.6%, with international visitations to the Hunter Valley up by 14% and the Blue Mountains up by 18%. This is no surprise, Madam Speaker, given that Destination New South Wales is focusing heavily on the regions, particularly with a strong events schedule. We've got events like the Denny Ute Muster, the Orange Food Week, the Hunter Valley Food and Wine Month. We've also got the Perisher Peak Festival. And later this year we'll have the International Touch Football World Cup in Coffs Harbour, and in the member for Upper Hunter's electorate, where I was only there with him recently, we've got the upcoming Dungog Festival on the 22nd to the 25th of October, with DJ Paul Mack heading up the festivities. We've also got the Long Table Dinner in the main street, and continuing on with the fantastic history that exists in that town, over 18 films will be showed through the course of that festival. We've also got on the south coast the Xterra Asia Pacific Championships at Jarvis Bay, and in Port Macquarie we've got the across the Hunter we've got the Port to Port mountain bike race running from Newcastle through the Hunter Valley and in Port Stephens. Looking internationally, Madam Speaker, 2 important visitor markets recorded significant, in fact record growth, with China up 24% and India up 20%. China remained the top international market for New South Wales, with over 530,000 visitors over the course of the last 12 months. And this growth is set to continue. Just last month, Madam Speaker, I was able to sign a memorandum of understanding with China's largest online travel agency, with China's online travel agency, Seatrip. This means that Sydney and New South Wales will be promoted to Australia's premier tourism event destination. Premier tourism destination to over 250 million people, and I've got no doubt all of those Chinese residents will be very interested in the World Rally Championships taking place in Coffs Harbour. And not only are the events here in New South Wales attractive, but so are our skills. In fact, the China Free Trade Agreement is opening up significant opportunities for New South Wales tourism businesses. The tourism industry has become an incredibly strong export offering, and the Chinese market is very interested in the skills. With our unique natural assets, Australia is a highly attractive destination for tourism infrastructure investment, including hotels, transports, restaurants, retail and major attractions, but it's also working the other way. The Australian tourism service providers will now receive guaranteed access to the growing tourism market within China under the Chinese Free Trade Agreement. For example, China has guaranteed Australian service suppliers will be able to construct, renovate, operate wholly owned Australian hotels and restaurants in China, showing our fantastic tourism skills to the world. It's also guaranteed that Australian travel agencies and tour operators will be able to provide travel services, tours and hotel accommodations directly to domestic and foreign travellers in China. Just last week, a united group representing the tourism businesses across Australia, including the Tourism Transport Forum, the Australian Tourism Export...
Madam Speaker, I seek an extension of time.
Extension of 2 minutes is granted. Thank you.
As I was saying, just last week, the united group representing the tourism businesses across Australia, including the Tourism Transport Forum, the Australian Tourism Export Council, the Accommodation Association of Australia, strongly condemned the union campaign against the agreement, saying that it threatens the future success of this promising export industry. Madam Speaker, on this side of the House we can say we're serious about developing tourism. We understand its importance and its value to the New South Wales economy. This is underpinned by a record budget from this government, with an extra $127.6 million over the next 4 years to attract more visitors to this state. We've got an extensive events schedule and our tourism continues to go from strength to strength. Tourism is an exciting growth industry which brings billions and billions of dollars and jobs to the state, and we will continue to ensure here in metropolitan Sydney and right across the regions that New South Wales remains the #1 tourism destination in Australia.
Call a member for